Hello and welcome to the next episode of D.O.A.F.T. And you know what's exciting about this? Team Jo Buu is making the playoffs this year. A lot of times I'm hating on him. Not this year. I think he's got the goods to make the playoffs. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Godfather speaks.
Team Jo Buu. Jo Buu, you could have the best team, Torres. You really could. You have talent. But I'll go over some of the holes. You have Cabrera. You have Cano. Great players. But is this the year they get old? We don't really know. Your shortstop is atrocious. Go get a shortstop already. Your outfield, Springer, Gonzalez, Gomez, Hayward, athletic, 5 categories. Or they could get hurt. Jose Abreu at first base, superstar, love the guy. No depth. I mean, your bench is atrocious. You have nothing to offer on the bench. You have guys that, again, you could replace. So you have no depth, and that's always going to be a step back. So your starting lineup is spectacular if they all play together. Pitching. Same thing. Really good pitching in some cases. We got Miller. We got Waka. We got Maeda. But then we don't know. Miller had 17 losses. And Maeda, they say maybe he's not that big and maybe won't be able to throw many innings. And, you know, Lester, he can't throw to first base half the year. So, again, your pitching in my book is kind of, it's good. It's not that great. I'm not talking about Arrieta because I'm an Orioles fan and I'm just bitter. It pisses me off. He's so good. And they gave him away, and that just sucks. So, okay, you got Arrieta, and you picked him up as a free agent, so I don't even like you for that either. So, way to go. You're amazing. Your bullpen is solid. Here's the thing. When you have ghetto closers, you just need a lot of them, and you'll win saves every week. And people don't get that. You got it. So, as your bullpen is going to win saves every week, as your lineup is talented, you have no depth whatsoever in pitching, no depth whatsoever in the lineup. So you're probably top 2 or 3 on paper right now. But if one thing goes wrong, it could all go wrong.
Ira's Island. Okay, now we've got Team Jo Buu. And it's funny because we say the same thing about this team every single year. We really do. It's injury-prone guys, and if you look at last year and how amazing this team was at the beginning, and then it just faded down the stretch. And again, it all had to do with injuries. Because Miggy, Cargo, Jose Abreu, of course he's not an injury risk, but Cano, Carlos Gomez, the other Cargo, Junior Cargo if you will, George Springer, Hayward, all kinds of guys that are very good. This could be a number 2 or number 3 offense. But with injury guys, you tend to go lower on that. And that's why I have it ranked as the number 5 offense. Because I don't believe that it will stay healthy all season long. And if it would, he could be very, very scary and maybe even a championship caliber team, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, Team Jo Buu, 5th place team. Fifth offense. Yes, 5th best offense. Not a 5th place team. 5th best offense. I have never been this unconfident about sleepers on his team. He just has a lot of known commodities. So I'm going to go with 2 that might be sneaking in there. Kenta Miata or Miyata or Miyake or I don't know. You know who I'm talking about. The Japanese import for the Dodgers. Maybe because you have to like the ballpark, the team that you're playing for, the division. It's a good place to pitch. If he's can do what he did over there, he can come do it here, I guess. Why not? So I'm going to go with him. And since I'm very, very not confident in that, I'll give you a second sleeper. I'm going to go with Frankie Rodriguez, K-Rod here. You know, this guy really does well. He just keeps chugging along, and I don't think he gets talked about a lot. I mean, he's never really been an elite closer except for the little 2-year period there where he broke the saves record. But he just keeps doing it year after year after year, so I think he's a very underrated closer. So I'm going to call him a sleeper too. So there you go. Those are my 2 sleepers for Team Jo Buu. Jean Segura, my dear man. Is it the 25 stolen bases that you are in love with? Or is it the 13 walks all of last season? A 2-to-1 stolen base to walk ratio. Jean Segura, that is the reason your team will be absolutely dreadful. Now it's time for Team Jo Buu. Now, of course, you have to love Arrieta and how great he was last year, but you have to assume a little bit of aggression. Now, after that, you've got Lester, very solid. Maeda, not sure what we're going to get. Waka seems like he is terrible in spring training. I know it's just spring training, but you never know. Miller, not that great last year, and now you have him in a ballpark that promotes home runs. And Rodon, already in a ballpark that promotes home runs. I have this as the 5th best pitching staff just because it's very top heavy in Lester and Arrieta. But after that, a lot of question marks. The number 5 pitching staff, Jo Buu. Yo, this team ain't gonna win the arms race. Translation, this team lacks in the pitching area. Bust. Okay, fantasy tip of the day. If you are very, very young and always seem to struggle with injuries, you may be injury prone and not a good fantasy proposition. And that is where George Springer comes in. First of all, he has a really, really old last name. Anybody who is named George should not be that young. Second, he can't stay on the field. He just can't stay on the field. He's good when he's there. He really is. But if you can't stay on the field, you can't stay on the team. That's just the way it works. And I think the rankings that I'm seeing, 34. No, not 34. You can't be 34 preseason rank for Springer. That's ridiculous. No. I mean, he just won't stay on the field long enough to get, so yes. Bust George Springer. I've got Team Jo Buu as having the 2nd best bullpen. Now, you've got Chapman coming off suspension in May. You got Cody Allen, who has been very solid over the last 2 years. And you also have Frankie Rodriguez, a very underrated reliever, who has been solid for several years. And to top it all off, you got somebody else that I can't remember right now, so I have to look over my paper. Oh yeah, we got Pedro Strop, which is a solid middle relief guy for the Chicago Cubs, a team that's going to win a lot of games. And Brad Ziegler, closing in Arizona. I think that there's a lot of good about this team, and that's why I've got them at the number 2 closing slot when they do this. Okay, now it's time to do Team Jo Buu. Do you like that name, Team Jo Buu?
No.
You don't? Okay, come on, you know the drill. Come on, get it, you gotta put it in. Go get him, go put it in. We put them in and we get Oh! It's a Band-Aid! Because Team Jo Buu's team is hurt all the time, so they need a lot of Band-Aids. I get it. Okay, alright, come here, we gotta say bye. Say bye!
Bye-bye.
I know it's like beating a dead horse with this team, but it's all about the injuries, baby. That's just the way it works with this team. Look at last year where he was boom, 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 first place all year long. Look how great Team Jo Buu is. And then by the end of the year, barely making the playoffs. Why? Because of injuries. There's too many guys on this team that are always injury prone. And that's why Team Jo Buu does sneak into the playoffs, but an early exit is most likely for Team Jo Buu. 5 more to go. 5 more to go.